Hey guys, it's Bullfit224 here, back again with another deck profile. Today's deck profile we're gonna do is my Monarch deck. Ever since I got the Time Turn Morganite from yesterday, I used it at my tournament yesterday. But hopefully this deck will get better as soon as possible. And let's not forget, Monarchs don't really rely on the extra deck here. So anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys haven't. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So first off is we're going to start off with 3 copies of Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. Now, Erebus is the go-to monster of this deck here. He's a boss. He's a boss monster, and he is the partner of Ether. So I'm about to get into that later on today. So, anyways, I'm running 3 copies of Ether. Now, Ether can help me special summon any monster that has 2,400 or more attack points from my deck, and I can use this quick effect to send a Monarch spell or trap from the deck to my graveyard, so I can tribute it off of my opponent's turn. I'm running 1 copy of one of the newest Monarchs that I just got today. I mean from yesterday, which is 1 copy of Destalos, the Shadowfire Monarch. Now, Destalos, the Shadowfire Monarch, is one of the new Monarchs from Duelist Nexus. So I'm glad that I add this to my deck. So let's see. I can tribute some of this monster by tributing one of my monsters cards and one of my tribute summon monsters. So this is perfect against anyone who is extra deck base heavy decks. So yeah, I'm running 2 copies of Vandy's Fiend. Now Vandy's Fiend helps you lock down opponents from special summoning. And I'm running 1 copy of Majesty's Fiend. Now Majesty's Fiend lets you help lock down your opponents from activating any monster effects. So this is perfect for against any meta deck in today's game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, and I'm running 1 copy of Karaz. Now Karaz lets me destroy 2 cards on either side of the field. So yeah, and I'm running 3 copies of Edea, the Heavily Squire. Now Edea helps me special summon any monster that has 800 attack points and 1,000 defense points. So this is perfect against anyone who is using branded zombies, you name them. And I'm running 2 copies of Eidos. Now Eidos helps me special summon, gives me an extra summon of this turn here. So be very careful when he's getting ashed or something like that. And I'm running 3 copies of the upstart Ankifite, the upstart Goblin monster. I'm like, people are gonna be wondering, Bullet Freak, why are you running pendulum monsters in this deck here? I'll tell you why. Because Ankifite has a pendulum effect. I can just destroy it and draw 1 card. It kind of like giving me an upstart Goblin of this turn, and after that I can special summon it off of it from my extra deck. Because Monarchs don't really run the extra deck. I'm just letting you know right now. Alright, you guys, that is it for that is it for the monster here. Let's move on to the spells. So for the spells, we're just going to be running a few 1-ups today. We're running 1 copy of Terraforming. Now Terraforming lets you to add any field spell from your deck, whereas Domain of the True Monarchs to be, for example, I'm about to show that later on today. And running 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army. Now Reinforcement of the Army lets you add an idea from your deck to your hand. And running 1 copy of 1 for 1. Now 1 for 1 helps me special summon monsters from either your field, either from your hand, or from your deck. and running one copy of March of the Monarch. Now, March of the Monarchs helps me protect my tribute summon monsters from any card effects. So yeah, this is this is perfect to give me some protection. And running one copy of Return of the Monarchs. Now, Return of the Monarchs helps me add a monster that has 2,400 or more attack points, whether it's Ether, Thestalos, or Majesty's Fiend, you name them. And I'm running 3 copies of Time Tearing Morganite. Time Tearing Morganite gives me some draw power. But there's 3 sides to this. Number 1, I cannot activate any effects from my hand. Number 2, I can draw 2 cards instead of 1 during my draw phase. And number 3, I can do 2 normal summons or sets, not just 1. And if I have a Time Tearing Morganite for example in my graveyard, I can just banish it from my graveyard and then discard it, so my opponents don't activate any effects when I normal summon this turn. So yeah, I'm running 3 copies of Pantheism of the Monarchs. Now, Pantheism of the Monarchs was removed from the ban list, so it's now at 3 now. I can just get it. That gives me a lot of draw power into this deck here. And I'm running 3 copies of Tenacity of the Monarchs. Tenacity of the Monarchs lets me add a spell or trap as long as that card has Monarchs in his name. And running 3 copies of the Monarch Stormforth. Now the Monarch Stormforth lets me tribute summon monsters off of my opponent's field. As long as I have Domain of True Monarchs on the field later on the duel, so it can give me some more power to my field. And running 3 copies of Domain of the True Monarchs. So Domain of the True Monarchs helps me lock down my opponent from special summon any monsters from the extra deck. So it's perfect against zombies, Shiranuis, Mayakashis, you name them. Anyways, you guys, that is it for the spells. Let's move on to the traps. So for the traps, we're not running many traps today. We're just running 1 copy of the Monarchs Erupt. Now Monarchs Erupt is like the skill drain for Monarchs. If you control a tribute summon monster, all cards on the field are negated. But there's a downside to it. If you don't have no tribute summon monsters on your field, this card gets destroyed. And finally, I'm running 1 copy of the Prime Monarch. Now, the Prime Monarch lets me shuffle back any 2 Monarch spells and traps into my deck and then draw 1 card. And if this card is in my graveyard, I can just summon it onto the field as long as I banished 1 Monarch spell or trap from my graveyard. So, anyways, guys, that is it for my deck profile of my Monarchs here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys haven't. Make sure you turn on all your post notifications on for any new videos here. And make sure you join my YouTube membership as well for early access to new and unreleased videos. And don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and then channel online, Xbox Live, and PSN. Until the next one, you guys, stay connected. Peace!